Hey guys, this is Thoth from the Batsquatch podcast. I was just letting you know that if you're down on your luck, you ain't got any money, and you're sick of begging your parents for money to buy a beer or anything at all, download the Anchor app. The Anchor app is the easiest way to make a podcast. I mean, it's almost as easy as breathing. They distribute it for you. They teach you how to do basically everything. It's kind of like guided meditation for the podcast enthusiast. I mean, this is the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, I can't think of anything that's easier or more fun than getting on the Anchor app and making a podcast. So get on board and try it out. It's amazing. Thanks.
This is Anubis of the Illuminati. We will stop this podcast immediately. Your attempt to enlighten the people will not be tolerated.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Batsquatch podcast. What's been happening? I've been getting fucking hammered. Not drunk, but I've been getting just fucking crushed, hammered by these ascension energies or the golden age energies. New Earth energies, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This last month, holy shit, it was like a purge of karma, a purge of timelines. I had so many ascension symptoms this last month. It was insane. It was like I was here, but I wasn't here. I had so much ringing in the ears, so many downloads from my star family, my galactic family, from the star nations, whatever you want to call them. The Schumann resonance was out of control in January. I almost it was almost 3 times a week or so. It was just so intense. Sometimes it was like I was walking in between timelines. I was in between realities and time. Sometimes out of time, walking out of time. Not in a bad way, but in a higher way, higher dimensional way. It was so crazy. I had a lot of contact with my higher self. My higher dimensional self. So many different things happened. It was crazy, and I mean, I just want to say that ascension symptoms are real. The whole golden age is real. And if that's in your part of your soul plan, your life plan, then you know what I'm talking about. But it was crazy. But now things are calmed down. I don't give a fuck about the full moon. If the full moon is your thing, that's cool. But I just let the full moon happen. Whatever happens, happens. I mean, yeah, I meditate during the full moon. I've been getting so much interdimensional activity. Man, it's like third eye. My third eye is like always working. It's almost like I'm in the fifth dimension, and I come back, and I'm here, then I'm in the fifth dimension, and I'm back. But I just wanted to tell you guys that the golden age is coming. It's real. The Hopi prophecy is a real thing, and it's not an idiot prophecy like the disclosure movement or the solar flash bullshit or any of that secret space program bullshit that they've given times and dates. I can't wait for 2024 to get here to see all the secret space program fuckheads eat their own shit and eat their own words and fail, because they will fail. The same with the secret space program, the solar flash, and the disclosure movement are all bullshit. They're all connected. It's a psyop. It's a psychological operation, and it's all a crock of shit. I mean, we have technology that can go interdimensional, but Lockheed Martin has that. Lockheed Martin, Skunk Works, they have that technology. It's not some fucking secret agency that's working with these fucking morons in the disclosure, solar flash movement. Those three areas are the same, and they're all a CIA front to fuck you up, to get you aboard a spaceship and then kill you or send you into reincarnation into another life in another fucking planet. It's all bullshit. Don't believe anything that is related to disclosure, to the solar flash, or to the secret space program. It's all a crock of shit. It's all bullshit. They're all trying to send you into samsara, into reincarnation, and get you aboard a ship and fuck you up. It's all bullshit. Don't believe any of it. Stay away from it. And if you don't believe me, all you got to do is psychically tune into those movements, psychically tune into the false prophets they have, their religious leaders. It's all bullshit, and it's all part of an AI network that's going to basically kill you aboard a spaceship and put you into reincarnation, into another life, into another third dimensional existence. So just stay away from it. It's all bullshit. I wanted to tell you guys that if you want to get a six-pack, go on carnivore diet If you want to get a six-pack, go low carb. Eat no more than 200 carbs a day with high protein, of course. Don't let your carbohydrates go over 200 grams a day. Stay under 200. If you want to get a six-pack, try keto diet. Keto diet will get you lean. And all these diets, you need to replace the word diet with lifestyle and say the carnivore lifestyle, keto lifestyle, low carb lifestyle, because if you say diet, your brain will start to crave all the foods you can't have, or it'll just simply start to crave sugar. But if you say lifestyle, your brain relaxes and it accepts that. It's part of the programming that's in society. But if you're, if you just want to be ripped, those three will get you ripped. So, I've been hearing a lot of stuff on the internet and just psychically about I just had a lot of people in the UFO world talking about the Dogman. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Dogman, but it's a cryptid, and it goes for hundreds of years in the Native American culture. A lot of trappers, European trappers, when they came to America, the Dogman would fuck with them and try and steal their traps, eat the animals they had in their traps. And it was something that it was a lot of like French trappers, French frontiersmen in the early years when they discovered America, or the 1700s, I guess. They had a lot of problems with the Dogman running around fucking things up. You know what I mean? And the Native Americans, the same old story. Native Americans said, stay away from this area. And, the Europeans would tell them to fuck off and then go in that area, because, Europeans didn't like Native American Indians very much, obviously. But the Dogman would just fuck up the trappers and all their traps and eat their shit, fuck up their campsites and shit. It's hilarious. And they had a lot of problems with them. There's a lot of stories in the 1700s about the Dogman and the frontiersmen and stuff in America and Canada too. But it goes back, I think the earliest main recorded documentation of the Dogman goes back to Michigan. I think it was in 1887. They was like the first actual official, documented case of the Dogman in Michigan. And then that was in America, where they had a lot of sightings in Michigan in 1887. And then if you really want to get to the origins of the Dogman. It goes back. It goes back to Atlantis. In Atlantis, they were splicing human DNA with dog DNA and creating dog human people, dog humanoids. And of course, the story with Atlantis. They did that with all sorts of different animals, creatures, insects, you name it. They spliced it and experimented and created all of these different types of creatures, and it went bad. And the creatures escaped. They went all over the planet. They went inside the inner earth. They created territories. Some of them were intelligent. Some of them were more animal-like. And they wreaked a lot of havoc. But some of them actually rose above their... some of them went up in consciousness and created... a benevolent, civilized cities, and or I guess not cities, but towns and things like that, or just territories where they lived. But other types of them, different creatures, they were more animal-like and stayed in the wilderness, and majority of them still exist today. That's a good source of origin for the Dogman. But I also wanted to let you guys know also that there are Dogman aliens, and they are extremely intelligent. They look just like the Dogman. They have dark brown, sometimes black fur with a dog face. And they come here for rare minerals and all sorts of different things that they take back to their planet. Most of them are from Sirius, the Sirius galaxy constellation area. And they're not necessarily hostile to humans, to human beings, but they will, try to get you out of the area they're working in. But that isn't necessarily an origin of the Dogman that we see. But they could also have brought the Dogman here to the Earth before Atlantis. So it's a possibility, because they're an intergalactic species of dog humanoid people who can travel through space or dimensions or fold space, or who knows. But they have space travel technology or interdimensional technology. But they're not going to try to hurt you. The Dogman that we see in America and Canada probably will try to hurt you and fuck you up. They're more animal-like. They're not 100% animal. They have intelligence. Some of them are more intelligent than others. Some of them have telepathic communication. And those ones who communicate with you telepathically probably aren't going to try to hurt you or mess your shit up. They're more on the Atlantean human side. So you kind of have those two areas. And most of the time, the Atlantean type of dogman, they're not out roaming around wreaking havoc. They stay in there. They're not going to be seen most of the time. You'll hear from them telepathically. If they'll actually warn you if there's a animal like Dogman coming around wherever you are. They don't necessarily like being around humans, but they will warn you and they'll help you out from time to time if you need help. But the animal-like Dogman is the one that we see, and it's the one that people have seen. And people have seen them all over the United States and Canada. They're everywhere, And I think the most recent sighting of a Dogman was in Colorado. Boulder, Colorado, where a guy saw one that attacked his dog on his ranch or farm or property. It was a large property, kind of like just a kind of like a large property area that this guy had. And that was in 2018, in Boulder, Colorado, where this guy, he heard his dog fighting and went out to see what was happening, and he saw the Dogman and his dog fighting, and the Dogman kind of cut his dog with its claws and ran off. And that was the end of that fight. Now, I would have pursued the Dogman and choked the motherfucker out and beat the shit out of him. Put him in an arm bar, take him to the ground, because obviously he's stronger than you are. So that's where you have the advantage, because physical strength is irrelevant in the ground game. And that's where leverage and technique is the advantage. More technique you have, the greater your chance of winning a fight on the ground. And that will come, that's how your strategy is going hand to hand with a Dogman, because they are extremely strong, very gigantic muscles, and they got that, call of the wild, fighting instinct. So you got to take them to the ground if it's hand to hand. Obviously, if you have a gun, shoot the motherfucker, But that guy's dog, his dog survived, and I guess he hasn't seen the Dogman since then. There was Another sighting, I remember, I think it was in 2010, a Dogman sighting in Wyoming. And this one was kind of weird because the Dogman was the guy was was driving, and all of a sudden the Dogman is running right beside his vehicle at 35 miles an hour. The Dogman's running, keeping pace with the vehicle, and the Dogman is looking in the I guess it was like a truck. He's looking in there, trying to see if he can find anything, like probably looking for something to eat. And so the guy sped up to 45. Dogman stayed with him. The Dogman is running 45 miles an hour, keeping pace with this guy's truck on a road. It was like a country road, but it was paved in Wyoming. And that's what blew the guy's mind, is that this Dogman can run 45 miles an hour. And he kept looking in his truck. And so eventually the guy sped up to 50 and kept flooring it and going faster, and he lost the Dogman at about 50, 60 miles an hour. So now you know how fast a Dogman can run. He can run fucking 45 miles an hour, for fuck's sake. That is crazy. That is a perfect example of Atlantis DNA. Now, we all used to have that type of DNA, and it got changed, and it's still dormant. It's part of our junk DNA. All of our junk DNA is alien. It comes from Atlantis, and it comes from the Anunnaki 400,000 years ago. And also, don't forget that part of our junk DNA comes from our original form of human millions of years ago, who were brought here by the creator aliens. We still have their DNA. It's just all dormant, and it's all been turned off. And the Anunnaki 400,000 years ago are the main group who turned off our DNA. I guess you could call it our divine or source DNA, Great Spirit DNA. But it's still there. And the way that you can get that back is by raising your spiritual energies, your vibrational frequencies, by doing spiritual work and working on yourself psychologically, and clearing out past karma, which happened this last fucking month. Thank you very much. Fuck. It was so brutal. It was so brutal. The month of January, I was like in a daze. It's like I smoked 30 joints in one day, every day. It was crazy. But the Dogman still has the old Atlantis DNA. That's why they can do all that crazy shit. Run that fast, superhuman fucking strength, and the other, the more human ones have the telepathy, because we all had telepathy back then, and it was a different world. It was a higher frequency, higher vibrational world, and of course that all got fucked up. But I guess like the most famous, most well-known Dogman is in Bray Road in Wisconsin. I guess it's like a fucking city it's got to be like the intuitive knowledge it's coming in right now is telling me that it's an underground village, like a tunnel network underneath Bray Road area in Wisconsin, because we don't ever find any bones, skeletons of dogmen, and so I'm getting a message that it's underground, part of the hollow earth, the inner earth type of network, because those things are everywhere. Those underground tunnels and cities and they're all throughout the inside of the earth. The inside of the inner earth is like a honeycomb. There's cities, tunnels, and all sorts of this stuff. So there's so many sightings at Bray Road in Wisconsin. It's like you fucking go for a drive and there's Dogman waving at you. Hey, what's up? And asking you if you got a smoke. You could go to Bray Road and smoke a joint with a fucking Dogman. You know what I mean? You might have to like arm wrestle or fucking, throw some punches or something. But then afterwards, you could probably smoke a joint with a Dogman in Bray Road. There's so many fucking sightings. They're everywhere. It's like Dogman Central. It's they're fucking all over the place. But I wanted to make a distinction between the Dogman and the Skinwalkers. The Dogman looks like a werewolf, basically. It's not a werewolf, or is it? It probably is both. There's probably Dogman and werewolves, to be honest with you. I mean, because the history of werewolves goes way back, all the way back to Atlantis as well. So there's probably both of them there. But the Skinwalker is different. The Skinwalker looks like a Doberman Pinscher. A Doberman Pinscher. Okay? So and the Skinwalkers, they actually do smoke cigarettes. If you see a 7-foot tall humanoid with a Doberman Pinscher's face smoking a cigarette, get the fuck out. You don't want to fuck with the Skinwalkers. You don't want to go up and try and fight. You just want to leave. I can't stress that enough. You don't want to be fucking around with the Skinwalkers, because they're pure fucking evil. The ones who look like a dog, like a Doberman Pinscher who smokes cigarettes. I know it sounds weird, but you need to stay the fuck away. Just run. Just leave. Because they're straight fucking evil. You don't want to be grappling or going UFC with those guys. Just leave. Just run. Just go home, run. Call upon the highest light. Call upon Archangel Michael. Call upon your star family, the seventh dimensional lion beings. Call upon everything you can think of, the Christ consciousness, the Buddha consciousness, Krishna consciousness, everything you can, and leave. If you call upon all of these, you will be protected. I promise you, you'll be protected. Especially the seventh dimensional lion beings. They're 20 feet tall, and they are ass-kicking machines. They will protect you. They're here again in this time to protect human beings. But you got to call on them. You got to ask them for protection. That's all you got to do is say, I call upon the seventh dimensional lion beings to protect me at this time. That's all you got to do, and they will come and help you. I promise you that. So, in Bray Road, they had, I think it was the first sighting was in 1936, back when everybody was a fucking idiot. during the fucking worst time of the, modern society, I guess, in America. I don't know. Just the 30s were fucking ridiculous and stupid, and this is a fucking clusterfuck of all sorts of bullshit and greed and insane bullshit. But they saw one in Wisconsin. They saw one, and ever since then, it's been a regular occurrence all the time. People are always seeing the Dogman in Bray Road in Wisconsin. It's nonstop. They're always appearing there. It's like a tourist destination. If you want to get your ass kicked, you know what I mean? If you go to Bray Road to see the Dogman, take a gun. Honestly, take a fucking gun. Or a tranquilizer gun. I mean, honestly, because these are creatures. They're not fucking, benevolent at all. They'll attack you, if you fuck with them. But their temperament is, if you are in their, if you're messing with whatever activity that they're doing, they'll fuck with you. They'll try and kick your ass. But if you see one and you keep your distance, 9 times out of 10, they go away. Honestly, they will just leave and go about their business. But but sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you're camping and you're smoking a joint, and you're off from the campsite, and find yourself in the Dogman activity. They're probably going to try and get you out of there, and they're going to try and hurt you, because they're extremely aggressive and they're vicious. But, there is a lot of reports where they actually will just try and scare you by growling and showing you their teeth, their fangs. And that happens a lot, and it's just so they can get away, or if they can go back to doing whatever the hell they're doing. You know what I mean? But I think that if you are going to visit Bray Road in Wisconsin, the weapon of choice is to get a handheld vacuum, because it's still a fucking dog, and dogs hate vacuums. They have a fear of vacuums. And if you pop out a handheld vacuum and turn it on, I guarantee you the Dogman will cower in fear and fucking run for his life. A vacuum is the best weapon against the Dogman that there is in existence. I promise you that. And when you start that vacuum up and he starts to cower, and let's say he trips over something and falls down, get a large handful of chocolate and force it down his throat, and he will die. You can kill a Dogman with chocolate. I promise you that. Because it's a fucking dog. It's still a fucking dog. And chocolate kills dogs. And they are deathly afraid of vacuums. That is your ultimate strategy to fight and destroy a Dogman. Nothing on this planet will instill fear in a dogman like a vacuum. If you can get a regular sized vacuum that's battery powered, that will fuck their mind up. It will mind fuck a dogman into fucking the fetal position. I promise you that. It will put them in so much fucking fear because it's a goddamn dog. You know what I mean? It's still a dog. And vacuums are the dog's sworn enemy. They hate vacuums. They hate vacuums more than they hate mailman. If you could dress up like a mailman and pull out a vacuum against a dogman, you will win. I guarantee you will win. They hate mailman, but they hate vacuums even more. And then once he's down, you get some milk chocolate, liquid milk chocolate, and just dump it down their throat, and you'll kill the dogman. They will die. Chocolate kills dogs, and chocolate will kill a dogman. I promise. I guarantee it. They cannot live with chocolate in their system. They'll die. You know, I mean, you got to get a lot of chocolate. You got to get a lot of chocolate because these fuckers are 7 to 9 feet tall. That's big. That's Bigfoot size. That's Batsquatch size. And you got to get that chocolate down their throat. But nothing will save you like a vacuum. Because there is a instinct, a DNA wiring inside dogs to hate vacuums. Nothing like a vacuum will fuck up a dog, man. I promise you that. But these fuckers are everywhere. And Bray Road is their fucking headquarters. The headquarters of the Dogman. These fuckers, these guys, they're muscular as hell. I mean, their muscles are fucking big. More than most cryptids. They're muscles. If we could get, if you have low testosterone, just drinking some blood from a dogman, you'd probably feel like Superman. You know what I mean? It'd raise your testosterone because the muscles, the bigger the muscles are, the more testosterone the body tends to produce. And there's a correlation between those two things. And a lot of anabolic steroids, the really powerful steroids, excuse me, the really powerful steroids, they're made from gorilla testosterone. They just move the molecules around so that human beings can ingest the steroids. But they make them in labs from gorilla testosterone, like Anadrol 50. You know, these are some of the strongest steroids ever made come from gorilla testosterone. So, I mean, can you imagine the type of steroids that we could make from a dogman testosterone? Because I guarantee you that their testosterone levels are higher than a gorilla. And you know, testosterone creates strength. It creates a lot of things, but strength is directly related to testosterone levels. So if you could make a steroid from Dogman testosterone, it would be the greatest steroid of all time. It would be the most powerful steroid of all time. You'd be putting on like 30, 40 pounds of muscle in 2 weeks. Guarantee it. And it's not going to be water weight. It's going to be fucking muscle. You know, because these dogs, they're so muscular. It's crazy. You know, and if we could just get one, but I mean, if we could get one and get the testosterone into a lab, man, the steroids that could be made from that would be unbelievable. It would, if you took a injection, or if you ate a pill of Dogman steroid, you would have an instant boner. Or if you're a lady, you would have an instant wide on, because that's going to be the most potent, powerful steroid ever made. And also, you have the Atlantis genes, the Atlantis DNA inside that testosterone. The old stuff that we used to have actively circulating in our bodies 15,000 years ago. And that would do a lot. It would not only would it make your muscles gigantic, it would also develop you spiritually. It would really raise your consciousness levels way high, to the point where you could start doing a lot of supernatural things, a lot of legendary things, you know, like teleportation, telepathy, touching people and healing them instantly. I mean, you know, all the old stuff you hear about, you start to develop those abilities just from having that steroid from the Dogman, because it has that Atlantean DNA. But I wouldn't recommend visiting Bray Road, simply because there's so many fucking Dogman there. But, you know, if you're prepared and you bring a vacuum and lots of milk chocolate, and you know, take a gun too, because you never know. Sometimes you have more than one. Sometimes you'll have a group of them appear. Not appear, but you might find yourself looking at 3 or 4 Dogman, and, you know, you got to break out the vacuum and fuck them up, you know. Get like a super soaker full of milk chocolate and just spray their asses, spray it down into their mouths and shit. And then they're going to collapse and die and shit. You know, that's a good strategy though. The super soaker full of milk chocolate. Just spray those fucking Dogman with that shit, you know, and then they'll fucking run away. Because they gotta know that chocolate kills them. It kills dogs. And they're dogs, you know. The Dogman is not a shapeshifter like Skinwalker. The Dogman's a Dogman. It's always a Dogman, 24/7, 365. It doesn't shapeshift into a human or shapeshift into a fucking gray alien or whatever the fuck. You know, it's a Dogman all the time. You know, and I promise you that chocolate will kill him. Guarantee it. So, I wouldn't go to Bray Road. You know, Dogman, something you don't want to encounter, because they're aggressive and, you know, they'll try and fuck you up. But you got to kick their ass with chocolate and vacuums. So I wouldn't recommend it. I had a friend of mine. He is a fishing fanatic. He lives for fishing. I mean, that's his life. That's his life's passion. Well, he went to a lake one time, kind of recently, and he went there, of course, to fish, and also to get a really good tan. He went there for tanning, because it was during the summer, and he wanted to get a really good tan. And so he went and found his like high school gym outfit. You know, that outfit they give you in high school with the really short shorts and the t-shirt. He got that outfit, and he wore that outfit when he went fishing. And this guy, he goes commando. He doesn't wear underwear. So, which, you know, some people do it. Some people prefer that. I don't, whatever does it for you, whatever freaky shit does it for you, go for it, So he's wearing these short shorts, super short, from high school, when he's not in good shape, and he doesn't have a six-pack, let's say. Okay, he doesn't. And he gets to the pond, and he takes his shirt off. He puts on all this darkening suntan lotion, and I mean, just like pours it on, all this like fucking suntan lotion, and gets it soaked in and all this shit. And he starts fishing, and he also, all he has on is his shorts, no shirt, nothing else. And the fish that he's fishing for are similar to the sturgeon, and they have very large, sharp teeth. So he falls asleep on the bank of the pond or lake, and he's asleep for, I don't know, I think it was about a half hour, and all of a sudden he starts screaming, and he looks down, and one of these fish has sunk their teeth into his big toe. It's literally got about a half inch into his big toe, and it's trying to fucking eat him. It's trying to eat his toe, and he freaked out and pulled his toe out, was able to get his toe out without losing the nail or anything. And then, because he's a fishing fanatic, he tries to grab the fish and keep it, and and take it home. And the fish, the water ended up taking the fish back out to the lake, and the fish was able to swim away. And he was all mad he couldn't grab the fish and take it home, because it was big. These are big fish. They're muskies. These are muskies. And they're huge, and they have these huge teeth that are extremely sharp. So he goes back to fishing, and he's fishing for a while, and he ends up falling asleep again. He gets farther away from the bank, though, this time. He's farther away, and he falls asleep again. So he fell asleep in the noonday sun for about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, I'd say. And he wakes up, and he has this strange burning pain. And what had happened was he had fell asleep with his tiny little short shorts, with his ball sack hanging out, exposed to the sun. His balls got sunburnt while he was asleep fishing. He never put sunscreen on his nuts. He put it everywhere else, including his butt. But he didn't put it on his nuts. And I don't think that sunscreen would even help on your nuts because it's such a sensitive area. The skin is so just sensitive and thin and weird. I don't think a sunscreen would even help him, but he woke up, started screaming in pain. He didn't know where the pain was coming from. His hand, eventually, he got to his nuts. He saw his nuts, and they're this strange, like, shade of red. It was just, looked insanely painful. And he flipped. He freaked out. He was in so much pain. He didn't know what to do because it's his balls. And he just fucking went nuts and started screaming, you know. Eventually he calmed down and started squirting, like dumping all this sunscreen on his nuts. And that sounds like, because a burn, all types of burns, they're sterile for the first 24 hours. You can make it feel, you think you're making it feel better, but there's nothing you can do until 24 hours has gone by. And then you can put the aloe vera, all that shit on your nuts. And so he did get a good tan, except for on his nuts. They got fucking sunburnt while he was asleep on the bank of his fucking lake. And it was just, I mean, who has that happen? When have anybody ever had their fucking nuts get sunburnt? You know what I mean? It's such a fucking freak thing. And it's hilarious. I've never heard of that. You know what I mean? Never. And he fucking fell asleep with his nuts hanging out on the bank of this lake, and they got fucking sunburned. It's the freakiest shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, if you go to Bray Road, take a vacuum, take a super soaker full of milk chocolate, and just be prepared, because nothing scares a dog or a dog man more than a fucking vacuum. So, anyway, I hope you guys like this podcast, and check me out on YouTube, Patreon. Come over to Twitter and check it out. But I really hope you guys like this podcast, and try to find some more freaky shit for you guys to listen to. Anyway, always remember, smoke weed every day, go to the gym every day, and don't forget the fucking dark chocolate, especially if you're going to go kick the shit out of the Dogman. All right? All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.